25th, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Orlando, Indianapolis, Houston, and now. Yeah. Black Ink Radio.
Of course. Well, peace and blessings, beautiful people. It's your girl, High Heels. No, listen to this song.
I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut. I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut. Healing in my heels, healing in my heels, healing in my heels. I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut, healing in my heels. I learned to walk on my own. I never asked for anyone to teach me. I just watched, I listened, and I was supported to walk, lifting one heel at a time. My path of wealth, my path of love, my path of health, my path of joy. I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk. Healing in my heels, that's my rhythm. Healing in my heels. When I heal myself, I heal the generations that follow. I heal my understanding of being a woman. I heal my memories and purify them by creating healthier memories, exploring possibility through my imagination. I heal my inner feminine by forgiving my mother for the time she let her own pain manifest into mine. My feminine being knows the way forward. I'm going against the grain, making beautiful mistakes. I fought hard to find my voice. Fear won't silence me. Courage is the choice. I'll set myself free over and over and over again. I honor my power to choose, to respect and love myself. I will no longer honor any vow, intention, word, commitment said by me or about me that is based in fear or doubt. I choose to take time and space for myself to decide what is true for me, period. I am gentle with my fears, flirting with my fears' core while being soft as I enroll them into my awareness. Sheesh, I'm really glowing, like for real, I got the glow. I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk, I strut, I walk. Healing in my heels, healing in my heels, healing in my heels. I walk, I strut. The greatest gift I can give to others is my personal healing and development. Giving myself the permission to be optimistic about life, about my life, no matter what the physical evidence is, no matter how the evidence of my experiences are trying to brand to my belief system, I train myself to let go of everything I fear to lose. I release my temptation to control another. I release the games I play. I learn how to forgive deeply and not to judge. I surrender to my healing. I give myself space to be creatively intuitive, which requires my solitude, knowing that this is the only time that I can heal both physically and spiritually alone. I know real change is messy, and I'm here for it. I release leftover, painful childhood memories. Shout out to the pain that gave me my understanding. See, my red bottoms are stored with the blood of my egos, my limiting beliefs, and my old emotional patterns. Underneath my walk, underneath my strut is a sacrificing of 1,000 me's. My flats are in my bag when I need to just be, but I strut. I walk, healing in my heels, healing in my heels. I express my feelings as an act of sacred communication and intimacy. I can be in a relationship without taking responsibility for another. I take responsibility for my thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. I get my power back. My life is mine to live. My power is mine to keep, and I don't have to give it away to anyone. I am now choosing to cleanse myself and release any and all thought forms, beings, situations, and energies that are no longer of service to my highest, my sexiest, my greatest good across all planes of my existence, across all lifetimes and mindsets. I speak to all energies that are less than love, to be transmuted for the highest good of all, and so it is, cause I'm a beast, I'm an alchemist, I do this, I strut, I walk, healing in my heels, healing in my heels, healing in my heels. I use everything, trauma, pain, disappointment, good choices, perceived bad choices. It is all my moldable clay to create possibility. I heal it all. I am not impressed, even though it feels real stress. I won't build a shrine glorifying emotions or thoughts that are not aligned with my highest self, but I will allow myself to feel and process for a time. And when that time is up, my mind, my body come with me. I love my heels. I love my healing. Healing in my heels. I strut, I walk, strut, I walk, yeah. Straight like period. Healing in my heels. Healing in my heels.
Peace and blessings, people. It's the girl High Heels. Not for the shoes, but for the healing of energy, the teleportation of higher vibrations. Get with it. You are listening to Oracle Connect on Black Ink Radio. Period. Oh, it feels good to say that. I feel like we took like such a little break, like a non-purposeful break, but it was a break. So shout out to Tony Jones. That was Healing in My Heels. And you do know that's like my new theme song at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
that sound like your right.
I was like,
Healing in My Heels.
Is that my opening? Is that like my new? Yeah, I had no clue. Didn't have any clue that song existed when I named myself High Heels.
That's crazy.
But yeah, now we gonna find her and we gonna do something. She gonna have to be like, this is my new thing. I don't know how, but we will. But yeah, so we did take a little bit of a break. We must address the elephant in the room that where we been, where I've been.
Where have you been?
Well, it's just been a lot of different energies going on. And one thing that I always want to do is I don't want to excite emotions in people. I don't want to excite anger or frustration. And I was in a lot of anger and frustration for the past few weeks. And I've been dealing with or working through a lot of whatever's been going on energetically. And my way is to just stay focused. And I don't want to be on here just exciting. I don't want to excite a riot. You know what I'm saying? So things just kept happening and aligning where I was like, yeah, I can't do it today. I can't do it today. And on another note, I'm just not going to sacrifice what I do in the real world for what I do in the media internet world. Like, because I think that a lot of people that do this, they're willing to sacrifice everything for attention. I'm just not. You know, if it's meant to be, it'll be. So yeah, that's where I've been. That's what's been going on with me. How have you been energetically through these times?
I've been good. I mean, you know, I'm proud of myself because I've been exercising a lot of restraint. You know, like you said, I ain't been getting with people, or you know, I haven't been allowing people to control my emotions. So I'm happy because once somebody controls your emotion, they control you. If you get a rise out of me, it's like, you know, I have no self-control at that point.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot. There's been a lot going on, a lot of changes and stuff. So I'm just happy, you know, that I'm in the right space to take on the changes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and it's what it's all good anyways. It's just certain people. Well, I'm not gonna give them no like. It's just, you know, people. You know, a lot of people hate, and then, you know, they just want to destroy everything around you. When they don't even realize that sometimes, you know, they're helping you. You know what I mean? But you can't destroy what God built. You feel me? You can't destroy what God has for me. So, you know, it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? So all I can do is just be happy for the future. You know what I'm saying? And grateful for the past. And for these people, because these people are actually, you know, vessels being used by God to actually help me. So you helping me, don't even know that, you know? sometimes it's hard for you to make certain decisions, and people will help make the decision for you. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I appreciate it.
I appreciate that. You know what? It's interesting because we kind of mirror because outside of here, I go to school for massage therapy.
Right.
And so it's a different environment because I'm used to being high heels. So I'm used to being around people that know what I do or they've experienced me in a positive way. But then when I go to school, I'm Golda. You know what I'm saying? They don't know nothing about me. They don't know what I do. I'm just this chick in the class. And for a lot of them, they don't realize that I am processing in the Nation of Islam. So I'm not going to be twerking with y'all. I'm not going to be cursing with y'all. I'm not going to be running around half naked with y'all. Like, I'm not about to do none of that. So it can be perceived a certain way. And, you know, the word hater, I'm working to get away from that word.
Right.
I want to repurpose the word to maybe people that have a different perception of you than what you think that you're putting out or what you would prefer them to see you as.
Yeah.
And so I've been dealing with a lot of that day to day, and I appreciate them though, because it's allowed me to learn to be in an environment where people don't like me, but I'm still okay and I'm still flourishing. And even though this is, you know, school, we're supposed to be building, we're supposed to be on this journey. I'm finding myself like on an internal journey. So from 9 to 2 o'clock, I really don't even talk to nobody. I just sit, I learn, but I love it because I'm like, I like that I'm valuing not having attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm valuing myself in a different way. They don't, and then some people do know what I do outside of here. But like you said, I appreciate them. I appreciate them for that because you're making me appreciate myself in a different way, you know. But yeah, the energies have been interesting. I'll say a lot of also what everybody is experiencing too is that we're kind of experiencing, shout out to massage healing, all healing hands, shout out Adam. That's another massage, that is Tassili's man. He's a massage therapist. And it's cool because I came across him right before I started massage school. And I mean, he's just been really cool because he's given me a lot of great advice. He's done massages on me, been very inspirational about making sure I know what my fascia are and my insertions and things. But yeah, as far as the energy though, I feel like what we've been experiencing for the past few months, everyone is saying, okay, Mars is in retrograde. But I'll speak outside of planetary positions and outside of astrology, right? We are at the tail end of a year. You know what I'm saying? And also, let's think seasonal. We're in the fall. So fall is when things are dying and things are changing. Like, we're watching all of the weather change. We're watching our scenery change. So we're going to have changes. And it's about how are you functioning within those changes? How are you functioning within that energy? Are you going to fold, or are you going to put your boots to the ground and stay true to yourself and keep going? Because I feel like a lot of people are in an energy where they're going to just make it happen. Like, you just have to make it happen. And you can't reach out to other people, but don't be mad that you can't reach out to other people to assist you. Because this is when Allah God is pulling you to assist yourself. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because even when we don't have people around us, how you was like, you know, I'm appreciative of them. I am too, because they made me call upon myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They made me enjoy the experience for myself,
right,
not because of who is around me and who is influencing me. And on a flip side, because of them being that way, I found a different person in massage therapy than I thought I was going to be when I started. Because at first I thought I was going to just be energetic. I'm going to sit here and be doing energy work. But really, I'm really like a clinical therapist. Like, I really enjoy the muscles, healing the muscles, using the Reiki, like, in a different way. So all that to say, like, whatever energies we're experiencing, because a lot of people is going through it, quote unquote, everybody, like many.
A lot of people's going through it. It's crazy.
Like, but this is that, I need a better way to say this. This is that balls to the walls energy. Like, it's time for you to just go balls to the wall. Like, do y'all know what that means?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
It's okay.
I know what it means, but it's like, yeah, you can use something better than people that don't.
This is that make it happen energy, okay? Do or die energy. This is that who are you? Do you know who you are? Are you willing to just be balls to the walls. There's another way to say this instead. You just have to.
I mean, also, you could say the way I'm saying it. I want to say balls to the wall. You just want to say balls. The way I see it is, honestly, this is the time to see a lot of these negatives as positives. That's all. Like, you know, I just feel like everything that you might feel is negative could just push you in a positive direction. You know, sometimes, you know, when things are happening that you feel are bad, it's just that you're not in the right direction. They need to help you get to the right direction. And sometimes you don't want to make, like, who actually makes a decision to go down to come back up? Most people just want to go up. No one says, all right, look, this is what I'm gonna do, right? So I'm gonna take this job where I'm making less money than I'm making now, because in a month or two I'm gonna get more. No,
right.
Sometimes you gotta just be put in that situation, and then it's like, damn. But then it's like, oh, okay, this is what came of that.
Yeah.
So a lot of us are not gonna make that decision for ourselves. You know, when you playing chess, you're not gonna sacrifice your queen, because a lot of people lose their queen and think they lost, not knowing that you can still win. So it's like sometimes things happen, and you know, we just not gonna think in the direction that's gonna help us win sometimes. So sometimes our hand get forced, and you gotta realize that, you know, in the Bible it says, count it all joy, which is like basically no matter what it is, try to see the good in it, because trust me, it's all happening for the betterment of you. You know what I mean? You have to understand that, or else, you know, you're going to be, like you said, you're going to be in this period talking about, why is this happening? What's going on? Because everybody's going through it.
Everybody. And shout out to King Simon. He said, only quality people. And you know what? That right there is really key. Only quality people. Only quality energy. Only quality thoughts as well. You know, because when we're talking about being like this, woe is me, or oh my God, all this is happening to me, that's not quality thoughts. Those are not quality. And you're not going to produce what you want if you're going to sit here and keep folding and keep acting like you're a victim. Because as soon as you start to create, as soon as you keep yourself like moving, like the universe meets you every time. But it's if you keep those quality thoughts, because you're going to attract what you're thinking. You know.
That's a fact. And you also have to understand this, right? You gotta watch who you keep around you. That's very important. And a lot of times, you know, a friend will do something to you, and it's like you want to figure out what happened. You want to be, yo, come on, you know, you're my friend. Like, why? Sometimes you gotta realize when God is removing people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and let them go.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you keep fighting to have somebody in your life, things can go extra bad. So when God is removing people, places, things, whatever, realize it and learn to let certain things learn to let go. If it's meant to be around you or with you, it'll come back. But other than that, like when you fight for anything, I learned early in life, whenever I forced anything, it was bad. That's friendships, situations, anything. Whenever I tried to make something happen, oh nah, this is what happened because I want it to happen. No, if things keep on pushing against it, just let it go.
Yeah. Plus, sometimes you're fighting to keep your old self, too. Like when you're fighting, you're fighting because you don't want to let go of who you don't want to change, right? Because it's comfortable to be who you used to be. So even though it's like fighting to keep certain people in your life, it's also fighting to keep a certain part of you. Whether it be like people that you used to date or people that were your friends, because you see yourself in them. So if you don't have them, then who are you? How will you see yourself? Who will you be next? And I think we get so afraid of the unknown. But like the unknown is very, very beautiful, because that's the unknown is God. God is unknown, right? You know what I'm saying? In a way, in a sense, you know. So it's like you got to stop fighting against changing into your new form. And I would love to know, like, I feel like, you know, sometimes things tell me things, like I get told things intuitively, but I don't have anything to like back it. But I really do feel like this is like there was like a chrysalis stage, and we're turning into the butterflies right now. And so we're trying to fight like out of that chrysalis. And so some people are just like, it's hard, and some people are going to give up. But I feel like once we get past this part, like by the time we get to January or February, it's gonna be easier. Like it's gonna definitely be easier. But this is just the tough time. So if you can get through this time, if y'all get through this time,
you will.
You will. But see, this is the thing too. I'll say that one of the things that's gotten me through is maintaining my spiritual practices. Like, I've been listening to like Native American chanting. I've been listening to Islamic prayers. Like, I've been listening to the minister, like checking myself to make sure that my thoughts don't go awry or astray and I keep in my focus. Because as soon as I stay there, like I find that peace. That's why it's kind of hard for me to venture out to other people or venture outside, because I'm like, I just know right here where I'm at in this pocket is keeping me focused and keeping me aligned. Gotta let go of things that outgrow and see if letting go of things that you outgrow. But that's been keeping me aligned, really. Like Native American warrior chants and stuff like that. I've been
not the warrior chants.
Warrior chants, bro. I've been really like in that mode. Like I feel like I'm in soldier mode. So yeah, we just wanted to address the energy because I felt like I've been feeling a whole lot of energies and I feel like you've been feeling them. Mm-hmm. And, I don't know how people view this, but I take time for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love y'all. I love media and all that, but I'm not finna sacrifice myself, my energy, my household, or anything that I need to do in my personal life to be seen or heard. And, take it how you want to, but I know a lot of people that be out here on the internet and things are going crazy in their house. And I'm just not doing that. Not for nobody. But let's get to what I wanted to talk about. I should have sent you the clip, really. But it's all good. We're not in a perfect world. But there was a clip that I saw on Instagram, and it was a group of boys who were Muslim and they were doing their prayers. And I don't know if this was a counselor or whoever that walked into the office and she seen it, and her reaction was like, oh, what is this magic stuff or something? And she started mimicking them and she said, well, I believe in Jesus, and moved the little boy's hand with her foot and continued to walk through her office. And she was complaining like, why is this my office? And, the clip really kind of like, it pissed me off. I ain't gonna front. But it reminded me of what I'm going through right now with my day-to-day life. And it brought me to this concept of like, we do talk a lot about white supremacy, but we don't talk about Christian supremacy. Because that I feel is a concept.
I believe, yeah.
Because it's like the way that she was so disrespectful to their religion and to their practice and to their prayer. And it made me wonder why. And, as the past few weeks, I've been like really telling people like, yeah, I'm joining Nation Islam. Like, yeah, I'm becoming a Muslim. And I've had a lot of negative reactions. I mean, like negative, like yelling at me. Why? Like, if you become a Farrakhan person, I'm not talking to you no more. Wow. Like infuriating. People have said the most disrespectful and vile things about the Minister Farrakhan to me, to my face. And so when I saw that video, it kind of just clicked me like, you know what? We need to talk about this. Because, with Christians, I understand that that is the majority religion in the world, right? But I am rather confused, especially when she said, I believe in Jesus. But she continued to be disrespectful to someone else's religion. And then she kicked the boy's foot with her hand. With her foot, I mean. Or she kicked the boy's hand with her foot. How is that Jesus like? How is that Christ like? And I'm just trying to see, like, when people in this country especially, when they want to be a champion for Christ, do they not see that they're doing the actual adverse of what Christ wants? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Like, I wanted to go back and we're going to look at something real quick. When we talked about, when I was talking about me becoming a Muslim, right? One of the things that somebody said to me was, well, what are his views on Israel? And I was like, but what does that have to do with you? Like, you're a black Christian man in America. Like, so what does his views on Israel have to do with you? And he continuously was like going back and forth with me about his views on Israel. And I just have to say this, and I don't want to offend anybody, but if you are a black man in America, a black Christian man in America, and your concern is his views on Israel, it's very confusing to me. Like, it makes me feel like you have succumbed to the brainwashing and to the, not even just brainwashing, you've succumbed to, what's that word? When they
manipulation? Not really.
No, it's what pedophiles do to people, to little children. I can't think of the word now. God, I'm blanking. You've succumbed to the manipulation, actually is a good word. Because I feel like so many of our people, we don't realize the values that we've been brought up on are adversary to our natural nature. And so I said to him, if you're a black Christian man in America, why are you concerned about a whole nother country? And why are you concerned about a whole nother religion? And he just couldn't answer the question. And so it just brought me to this, like, okay, guys, like, we have to see if you are choosing your religion, right? Let's get to the root and the basis of your religion. You know what I'm saying? Like, she said that she believed in Jesus. But if we look at like some of what Jesus talks about, he talks about love for others. He talks about love for your enemies, love for foreigners, and about having proper leadership. And I just don't see a lot of that these days. I haven't seen a lot of that. I haven't seen a lot of grace. I haven't seen a lot of mercy. I haven't seen a lot of love. I haven't seen a lot of accountability. Indoctrination. That's the word I was looking for, was indoctrination. Somebody commented it. So yeah, I kind of felt like I wanted to speak on that. So you're a Christian, huh? Are you a Christian?
I don't see when it comes to labels. I don't know. I can't say that. I do believe in God. I do believe in Jesus and the Bible, I guess, you know. But to call myself a Christian, I can't do that because I don't go to church. I don't exactly believe, like you, I don't like how some people act that's in, you know, I don't like how things are ran, I guess, you know what I'm saying, in a certain way when it comes to like Christianity, as far as how the church go, all the hypocrisy and stuff like that. You know, it's not really the pastors or like the preachers, because I've come to understand that part. It's really the people that go there. You know, like you said, the judgmentalness. You know, people are very judgmental that are Christians sometimes. Like, you know, it's almost like if you're not one of them, then it's a problem. Even if you are a Christian. If you're not like a devout Christian, then you're a heathen.
Right. But see, this is the funny part for me. And you know what? I've been trying to be safe, but I just think that I'm not meant to be safe. I'm just going to speak. And sorry, I don't know. I just have to do it. I think that it's kind of, it's stupid. It makes me feel like you lack intelligence. Because if you can say that you believe in Jesus, but then your actions are completely adversary or opposite of what Jesus' point was, then it means that you have no knowledge of what you say that you are. So therefore, I feel like you lack intelligence, because then therefore you are living your life really just being what somebody told you to be, rather than what you believe in being. And what I'm seeing the most is that I believe in what I am. Like, I took time. I learned every day. Like today, I watched the minister for 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like every day, at least 2 to 3 hours, I'm educating myself on what I'm doing. And the more that I do that, I think that's where this anger, it's not even anger, it's just where this fieriness comes from, because the more that I educate myself on what I'm doing, and I see people who are not educated at all on what they say they believe, talking to me and telling me what I'm doing is wrong, I just feel like y'all lack intelligence. Like, you just lack intelligence now at this point. And really, it's disrespectful to Jesus, I feel like.
Right.
Because if you believe in Jesus, but you don't do what Jesus says to do, then you're a heathen. You're evil.
Pretty much. And that's the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of these people speak as if they're, you know, because they go to church every Sunday and because they do certain things, they feel like they're better, but you're not, because you're actually not living the way you're supposed to as a Christian.
Right.
You know?
And now, and it's funny because one of the arguments I didn't embark in the argument. I just let people yell at me. But the person that was yelling at me was drunk. Meanwhile, I'm sober. And I'm like, but if you want me, and this is to any person, if you want me to let go of what I believe in, right? Stop following the minister or stop being a Muslim. If you want me to do that, I need to see God in you, because I see God in him, and I see God in myself, and I see God in a lot of people that are my peers. But if I don't see God in you, why would I stop what I'm doing that I see God in to adhere to what you're doing? Especially if you can't live your life sober, if you can't live your life honest, and if you're not even happy. Like, I mean, because I've been seeing people, I'm like, bro, you is miserable, but you want me to do what you're doing? Because that's working so good for you.
Right.
It's working so good for you, but it's not. And so, and this is why I was like, I wanted to pause, because I think I have a lot of this energy within me where it's just, I'm not even sad. I'm more so like, I come from a place of you're starting to make me feel a little bit more dominant and empowering me. And you're making me feel like the choice that I'm making actually is the best choice, because I'm watching the lack of intelligence. I'm watching the lack of education. I'm watching the lack of happiness, the lack of love. And I'm seeing that what I'm doing is bringing all of that into my life, all of it. Like, even from the point of like how much I look up every word, like how much I really am like about aligning with what God wants me to do. And I will say this though. I have a soul sister that I met in school at the beginning. And the two of us have become soul sisters because our paths just aligned so much. Like, when we both started school, like, that was when I decided to join the nation. She decided to get baptized. We both quit smoking weed. We was both weed smokers, like weed smokers. But we have both like really put ourselves into our spirituality and into our religion. And she's a Christian. And I feel like she's such a great example of a Christian, because no matter what our differences are, she sees that I have submitted to God the way she submitted to God. We just have different books, or we have different beliefs, or we have different, like, what's the word? Like plans, I guess. No, not even plans. We just have different literature. You know what I'm saying? We have a different language, but we're both speaking to the same purpose, the same God. And I feel like when I watch her, like, she keeps that love in my heart enough, because I'm like, you know what? It's just some people that are kind of like astray, but she watched The Minister. I had sent her The Minister when he was speaking on Kyrie. She watched the whole thing. Like, so I feel like she's such a great example. Shout out to Chill, Crystal, shout outs. Period. Because she has really kept that aligned for me, because she's a person that whatever she does, she asks, is this aligned with what God wants for my life, you know?
And that's good. I mean, she has open-mindedness, because for her to even watch those videos, just let you know, like, some people, I can't watch that. You know, I that's this, that's that. But instead, she watch it, formulate her own opinion. Mm-hmm. And even then, it's like, she can, decide for herself how she feel about it. Mm-hmm. But at least don't be closed-minded and closed off. Like, you walk in the room and some kids are praying. You don't know what they're doing. You didn't even ask what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Yes. You just make an assumption. That's just like, that's ignorance at its finest.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, especially because a lot of those prayers are just saying, like, how much you love God. And you're just, like, really, if you translate them, it just be like, God is the greatest and the merciful, and I praise you. You know what I'm saying? And you was mad about that. But, yeah, it reminded me, have you ever seen this thing called Wild Country? It's oh, my God, this documentary right here. So I would implore anyone to see Wild Country. It's on Netflix. But it was really a great, this is a great experiment in showing a great example of what I'm talking about. There was this guy, he's called Osho now, but back then his name was Bhagwan Rajneesh, and he's from India, and he had an ashram in India that, like, all these, like, just affluent Westerners went to. Like, so it was weird. It was like, he's Indian, but all of his people was like all white people from like Australia and like Europe and America. It was random. Like, it was no Indian people. But I don't know how to explain it. But they wanted to create their own city in Oregon. So they bought a bunch of land in Oregon, and went to the city. And, you know, because of the people that were in this group, you know, you had lawyers, doctors, like you had affluent people. They just wanted to go and spend their life meditating in spirituality. So they were able to create a little banking system. They were building their homes. They were manufacturing their clothes. But these ranchers in Oregon, they was like, oh, what is this? They're coming and bringing this like Satan stuff. So they started to mess with their little city. And they tried to pull and say, oh, they're not using the land properly. That land is not built for use. That land is used for crops. So the Rajneesh group, they were like, okay, well, then we'll have to come and buy your city, because half the city was vacant. And so, you know, long story short, it became a huge fight. And the Rajneeshis did not back down, you know, and the more that the Rajneeshis did not back down, the more you saw the white supremacy, the more you saw the Christian supremacy come out, where they were even stopping people from voting because they didn't want the Rajneeshis to win. And I had a conversation with somebody and they were like, well, can you believe all the stuff the Rajneeshis did? And I said, well, at the end, because they did do some bad stuff. But at the end of the day, I was like, but had the Christians and not come and messed with them, they would have just been in their little city, like perfectly fine. But it's that idea of like, well, I'm not going to let you come into my place. But I just feel like, but why? Like, where does that closed-mindedness come from? Like, how is that of love and how is that of God if people are, right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to sit too much on it, but I'll just say this. We are in such a time energetically, right? We're in such a time of confusion, of chaos, of controversy. We see a lot of controversy in the news and in the media all the time, right? And you don't want to let that pull your energy around. And I feel like if you're a person who says that you are of a religion or you are of a spiritual practice, be of that. You know, focus on that. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Worry about what you believe and what you're doing. Because the more that you step outside of your own faith and your own practices, the more that you're really appearing to the devil's energy, you know? And when we see ourselves as people like together, when we see ourselves of love and with love, that's when we prosper. Like with all of this energy going on, keep like love and keep God first in your heart. I don't want to excite, so I really try to keep in my pocket, because I had a whole lot of other stuff I wanted to say, but God keeps telling me to keep a peaceful energy. And because there's so much on the internet right now that is pulling your energy everywhere, that's making you mad and making you want to protest and making you want to boycott. Like, I just don't want to be that energy. And if it's entertaining or if it's not, I don't care. I just don't want to pull y'all, because I really could. We could get real radical, and I could get real radical. But I keep what God tells me to do first. And God keeps saying, just speak peace onto the people, speak love onto the people, and speak logic onto the people. And so all that to say, like, stay true to who you are, right? Stay true to your practice and revert back to spirituality or God or whatever you want to before we start making decisions, because the energy is not going to settle for another like month. So just stay 10 toes down, stay working, stay motivated. But yeah, that's all I have for today, because I had a whole lot more, but it's just I have to go with what Spirit tells me to do and not excite people and not get people riled up, because I feel like there's enough of that going on, and I don't want to be the chariot for that energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. So that's it. We will see each other next week. I think I might have a guest next week. We might be doing that. Same bat time, same bat channel. But I will see you later. Bam.
Later.
I know, right? I'm like.
You are now tuned in to Black Ink Radio.